Moments from now, Bourbon Street will reopen to the public just over 24 hours after tragedy struck New Orleans. At least 14 people killed after a man drove a truck into a crowd of people ahead of that highly anticipated Sugar Bowl and in the wake of a New Year's Eve celebrations. Dozens more injured in what FBI officials are calling an act of terrorism. Mayor LaToya Cantrell had this to say about today's preparations.
I want to reassure the public that the city of New Orleans is not only ready for game day today, but we're ready to continue to host large-scale events in our city because we are built to host at every single turn.
Built to host. Let's bring in New Orleans City Council member Oliver Thomas Jr. for more on this. First of all, we cannot go into any topical discussion without sending all of our thoughts, all of our prayers, and the fullness of our hearts to the people that you represent there in New Orleans. It's an unspeakable tragedy, and you have our condolences.
And I appreciate that. It's also compounded by one of our local business families, Tron Vu. They just lost their matriarch, who was shot in the head. So in the midst of all of this, we're experiencing from a just prominent local family in our hearts and prayers. And I only go out to the victims of this violent, evil terror attack, but it goes out to the Vu family for their loss. So thank you for opening with that.
It is the only way to open a conversation like this. Now we transition to more of the investigation and where you are as a city. We understand you spoke to police right after this attack occurred and went to the hospital to see some of the victims. Can you open up what that experience is to not only help us have a picture of the investigation, but also the human side of this?
Well, that's a great point. I mean, after spending 3+ hours in the emergency room the morning that it happened, I took away a couple of things. We cannot thank our emergency medical personnel in the emergency rooms and the ones at the University Hospital enough. Many of them stayed or came back to be there to aid and to assist those who were injured, including the 2 police officers. The other thing that I observed was the 2 police officers there, their comrades, right, and their colleagues coming by to check on them, and the people telling them how heroic they were. While people were running away, 3 officers and the 2 that were shot in the exchange of gunfire who were wounded, they were risking their lives to run towards this person to make sure that others wouldn't be injured. And had they not done that and neutralized the threat, hundreds of thousands of others could have been blown up by these IEDs or explosives, or actually injured through gunfire or with this car. So they saved a lot of lives, and we can't thank them enough.
So a difficult question, but we know as somebody in leadership that this is going to come up, and you are prepared to answer the question. We know those security ballers designed to prevent vehicles from hitting pedestrians were not in place at the site because they were being replaced. What do New Orleans officials, how are they looking at that? How are they thinking about this to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again?
Well, that's a great point, but we have to look at what went wrong and what we could have done better. But we can't stay there. But because we have to come together to not lay blame and point fingers. Too many people are pointing fingers right now. We're not speaking with one voice, right? Not unified voice. We need to talk about what do we need to do differently. And I've reminded people, and you guys know this too. In 1990, President George Bush and the American Disabilities Act, where we were sued because streets, sidewalks, and public right-of-ways were not accessible. So we have to consider that in the discussion while we're protecting our citizens. Also, I went this morning to do a survey with a former NOPD officer, and we looked at the perimeter and we looked at the inner part of the quarter and many of the tourist sites. If you don't have a light stanchion or a fire hydrant, then to get around the bollards or the barriers, all you have to do is angle a couple of your tires on the sidewalk and get around the barrier. So there has to be another intentional discussion to talk about how do you not only have barriers there, but how do the barriers stop people from moving forward? And then there's a third part of the discussion that we're not having nationally. Look at the millions and trillions of dollars it costs us to travel with TSA and security and flight security now. Look at the millions of dollars it's going to cost cities like New Orleans and other cities who host tourists and events to make sure that we're limiting access, that we have checkpoints. So even the terrorists win, even if no one gets hurt, because that's valuable dollars that can't go to help our elderly, that can't go to early childhood care, that can't go to affordable housing. So there has to be a real important grown-up, mature discussion about all these issues where America can speak with one voice and New Orleans and Louisiana can speak with one voice.
And find solutions. We end this interview the same way we began, and that is once again our thoughts with so many people who live shoulder to shoulder with you in your community. We thank you for giving them a voice today on CBS News 24/7.
Blessings to you guys, and thank y'all for caring about us.